Never lose it, kid. That's what my Uncle Sam said to me while I was sitting on I think it was brown carpet of my Aunt Kathy's house in Las Vegas. This was years ago. I was probably 12 years old, somewhere around there. My uncle is sitting on an old recliner, kind of worn in, the old one that your aunt would have, your aunt and uncle would have. And I'm sitting there, and he says, "Don't lose it, kid." And I look up to him and I was like, "What do you mean, Uncle Sam?" And he said, that light in your eyes, never lose that, kid. And he said it from his kind of gruff voice, because if you know my Uncle Sam, he's not the joking type all the time, but he was, he was a little bit more serious, and he's not the guy who's a motivational speaker or anything like that. But it meant so much to me because he had gone through some challenges in his life, and he had every right to, have a different outlook, but he wanted to almost protect me. He said that, and when he told me, never lose it, never lose that little light. As I was sitting down this morning, spending some time with the Lord on the beach, I got to go down there today in beautiful Carlsbad, California. And if you ever get a chance to be able to visit, it is unreal. September and October is probably the best time, and that's when I actually should do an Inchstones retreat. And now that I'm thinking about it, it'll probably be during that time. But as I was sitting there, I was writing out to God, like at first, and saying, I really just want to walk light. I want to be free. I want to be full of joy. I want to laugh a lot. I don't want to be so serious. I don't want to be locked up. And, as far as like, with the heaviness of trying to teach a lesson or anything like that, I just want to have a good time. I want to laugh and I want to be free. And I find that that's when all the magic happens. And I want to show you guys something really quick if you're watching. This right here, this makes me laugh. It brings me tons of joy. This, if you're listening, you can't see it. If you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, you can see it. And what it is a statue of Red Man. And it was done by Concrete Jungle. And this guy is absolutely amazing. I saw him on Instagram and I had to have it. It's got different detachable heads that you could put on. And it's all his albums together. And Red Man is one of my favorite MCs of all time. And I think it's one of the coolest statues if you look at that. I mean, just how unbelievable it is. There's only 500 of these made. Well, why did I get it? Because it made me smile. It made me laugh. And I remember listening to Red Man as I was growing up. And I just think that he's probably one of the greatest MCs of all time. And it didn't, change my life, but it made me smile. It made me laugh. And every single time that I see it, it makes me laugh. It makes me smile. And so as I was sitting on the beach and I'm, talking to God that way, and I'm saying that, he reminded me of my Uncle Sam. And my Uncle Sam gave me the advice. He gave me the wisdom. Did I listen all the time? No. Did I apply it all the time? No. Did I accept it all the time? No. But I wish I would have, because every single time that I think back to Uncle Sam and he says, don't lose it, and I get in that childlike faith like each and every one of us has, magic starts to happen. But when we get bogged down with the challenges of the day or the circumstances, and what Uncle Sam was saying is, it's not that challenges aren't going to come. It's just you'll have a different perspective and you'll be prepared in a different way to be able to overwhelm those circumstances, no matter how challenging they are, with joy, which is the art of falling in love with your current circumstances and allowing magic to happen all around you, because it's just your perspective. And so as I sat down today, and God revealed to me in Proverbs 8, it gives us a blueprint, which Proverbs is a blueprint, to walk light, free, and full of love and joy and laughter. And to look at this blessing that some call life, and to just sit in it right now, right here. Be okay with the past. Get excited about the future, but reside right here in the present. So why don't we get this party started?
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so if reason, cause we believin'. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
I had a challenge yesterday because, well, actually 2 challenges. One, I went to record an episode and I pushed the wrong button. And as I pushed the wrong button with the with the production side, I pushed the wrong one. As opposed to moving to the next scene, you know what happened? It actually ended the broadcast, which was challenging. And then I had an incredible episode with Mr. James Dixon, the ultimate motivator, or the absolute motivator. He has Elevate Voices, which we're going to be doing a live event called Elevate the Vibe. And we're going to be doing that in Salt Lake City. It's going to be incredible. Going to be a limited amount of people. It's going to be invite only. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be unbelievable. We're going to go through and help you to be able to look at your story, craft your story. And then also we're going to be talking about the power of podcasting and how, podcasting for me has really shifted things in the way that I've been able to see things too. And I'm not a coulda, shoulda, woulda person, but I tell you, if I would have known the power of podcasting, in my earlier days, in my earlier careers, it would be, I tell you, the power is massive, massive, massive. We're on this thing today, as far as sharing with you with Proverbs. I said Proverbs 8. It was Proverbs 19. Sorry. It was Proverbs 19 that gives us the blueprint to walk light, free, and full of joy and laughter. And imagine that, like, just to be able to laugh and be silly. And I think that some of the things, everything that I share on Instagram with my brother, my cousin, and James, and all my friends, all of those things are funny. They all make me laugh. I've never sent a serious meme to anybody. I've never done that. And I started to think about it, and I was like, man, I just want to laugh. I want to have a good time. I reached back because behind me, if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Spotify, I want to thank you for that. But I reached back on my shelf, and these were something that made me laugh and to be able to just have a good time. What they are is Garbage Pail Kids. And I have them on my shelf. And actually, I have Garbage Pail Kids. Wow. I didn't even realize I have these ones. But I have Smelly Kelly, which is the 43A. That's Smelly Kelly. I got that one. For obvious reasons. This is crazy because I didn't even realize I had this. But this Garbage Pail Kid is number 1A. So I don't think that it's going to get graded because I think some kid marked his own name on the back of it, but I traded for it. And it's 1A, it's nasty. 1A, it's Nasty Nick. And if you're a Garbage Pail Kid person from back in the day, this was the holy grail. If you got Nasty Nick, it was amazing. And then I got Wacky Jackie. And Wacky Jackie, I got that because my mom's name is Jackie, and I thought that was kind of funny. And, these Garbage Pail Kids, like when you collected them as a kid, it was just pure joy. We weren't thinking about how much they were going to be worth or, were they going to be graded and they were going to be an investment or anything like that. And I still don't think about that today. I do have some cards, but, I have some other cards here that I cherish. I got Charles Barkley. I got, let's see, I got Kevin Johnson, David Klinger. Most people don't even know who that one is. But it brings me back to the Garbage Pail Kids, where it's just having a good time, having fun, laughing a ton, and being full of joy. I tell you, my wife is probably one of the greatest examples of this because she is constantly just telling me it's not that deep, have a good time. If it's for you, then God will have it to happen. And so just chill out. And this happens with so many different aspects of my life. And most of the time I don't listen to her in the first time. And then I come back and I'm like, baby, you are right. And this is what happened with my Uncle Sam. And I just want to do a huge shout out to him. If you haven't got a chance to listen to him, I called him one time on one of my episodes, which is called You Have to Meet My Friends. And where I go live and I call my friends randomly. Well, I called my Uncle Sam, and it's hilarious. He was like, I'll be on the podcast as long as I don't have to come to California, because he lives in Utah. And then I said, what if I told you you're live right now? And he told me he was in his underwear, but he sat in his underwear and had a conversation with me for like an hour and a half and talked about all the different things that he had gone through, serving in the military, working with the U.S. Postal Service and retiring from there. And it was just unreal. So Uncle Sam, you're incredible. I'm very, very fortunate to have you. Let's jump into Proverbs 19, because that's why, well, I don't know if that's why you're here. Hopefully you're here because you like the podcast. So in Proverbs 19, in verse 1, I want to give the setup for this again, is it gives us a blueprint to walk light, free, and full of joy and laughter. And how many of us would like to be a little bit more light, a little bit more free, and a little bit more joy and a little bit more laughter, especially as the summer starts to close? When I say this, I know we're in July right now, but we got a month and then our kids are going back to school. And that's when things start to move quicker. Also, too, it could be a little bit more stressful for you during summer because your kids don't have school to go to. They don't have anything to do, or maybe if they're not in camps or a sport or whatever it is. And sometimes summer can be a little bit more stressful. Sometimes it can be a little bit more relaxing, but we got a month left of it. And so I tell you, like, if we can keep that joy, that laughter, that we walk light and we walk free throughout the year, I tell you, everyone else around us will be blessed. And so this was the blueprint to be able to do that. And my Uncle Sam's words, never lose it, kid. Like, never lose it. And he was talking about that light. That's what he told me. He said, that the little light inside your eyes, the light of being a kid, never lose it. But it's cool because Proverbs 19 breaks it down and how we can keep that light and do that. So in verse 1, speaking life and doing the right thing. When you do those things, speak life, it means that today what I would challenge you to do is call somebody. Call somebody and just tell them, say their name. And I just did this with my buddy James. I called James and I said, hey, James, I want to let you know that your speaking has gone off the charts. I've known you for years and you just keep getting better. And also the way that he has honored his family throughout this journey has been absolutely tremendous. And I wanted to tell him. So tell him specifically, that's speaking life. And then just do the right thing. How do we know what the right thing is spend time with God. He'll let you know what the right thing is. And if you want an example of this, Mr. Mike Bender is probably one of the greatest examples of just doing the right thing for the right reason. In verse 2 and verse 11, understand the work before you desire the results. Slow down and enjoy now. And this is a massive one. I've got myself into trouble with this because I've saw the results of somebody else's work. And then I've said, wow, I want to do that. I think that would be really cool to do that also. But then I don't know the work that goes into it. And I had this happen with a personal trainer years ago. He asked me, actually it was a gift, which I think was insensitive. Julie Compton, thank you so much for, it was Christmas time. And as a gift, she got me a personal trainer. And the guy called me and sat me down and said, hey, what do you want to do? Like, what's your goals? And I said, well, I want to look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. And he was like, oh, cool. So we're going to work out. I think it was 6 or 7 times a week. You're going to eat this and you're going to, work out for this long. And we're probably going to do 2 a days for a couple of days. And then we'll get you to that point. And I just heard that and I was like, man, I don't want that. Like, I don't want to look like Brad Pitt anymore. Because I didn't understand the work that it took to be able to get the desire that I wanted, right? The desire that I wanted, that thing, I didn't understand the process, what it took to be able to get there. Once I understood the process, I was like, I'm out. And so I just bought bigger shirts. So slow down and just enjoy now. Enjoy this as much as possible. And this is advice that I get from my brother all the time. And Big Rob, you're amazing. And you make me laugh all the time. And I love you more than you could ever imagine. And let's see, in verse 3, dumb decisions are not a reflection of God's character. your dumb decisions, like our dumb decisions in life, are not a reflection of God's character. A lot of times we make dumb decisions and then we're like, oh my gosh, God, I can't believe, why would you ever let this happen? It's like, no, he didn't let that happen. He let you choose, and then you chose something stupid. And when you make stupid decisions and you do stupid actions, then you get stupid results. And I've had this happen so often in my life that it's, I mean, just bonehead decisions. So just be conscious of that. In verse 4 and 7, be a good steward of your money. And this is, at 50 years old now, I look back at it and I'm like, man, if I could only do what I'm telling my daughter to do right now, or my son to do, or what I'm coaching people on. We have a financial literacy company called, for hairdressers, called Dollar Camp. And in that, I mean, it breaks it down. It is so simple. If I would have done all of those things, it would have been amazing. So I think that that's pretty cool. And so let me see here. I want to tell you, let's see, in verse 5, 9, 22, and 28 is tell the truth and it'll never haunt you. So if you tell the truth all the time, it'll never haunt you in what it is that you're doing. And my mom always taught me this, like, what was it? That you never have to remember when you tell someone the truth, but you always have to remember when you tell a lie. I'm killing that phrase because she did it a lot better, but I tell you, like, tell the truth and it will never haunt you. And that's verse 5, 9, 22, and 28. In verse 6 of Proverbs 19, make great friends and be an even better one. And I think great friends, like my brother right now, I'm getting inducted into the Cabrillo High School Hall of Fame. I'm very honored for this. I thought it was really cool. The reason why I wanted to is because I saw an episode of Rob and Big way back in the day, and Rob Dyrdek got inducted into his high school Hall of Fame, and him and Big went back and they had a celebration there. And I was like, wow, that would be kind of cool. And then I was like, man, I don't know why I would ever get inducted, but I did, and I'm very excited about it. And I want to bring laughter, and I want to bring joy. I want to make it light and help people to understand that if you'll just be yourself, you could get in the Hall of Fame. I got inducted into the Hall of Fame for the Paul Mitchell charity, which is Peace, Love, and Happiness also. And so John Paul and Gary Spellman, I got inducted into that Hall of Fame this year. And I look back, and it was mainly just being myself. And so just a really, really cool thing. So make great friends, because we're going up there, and my brother set aside the whole entire weekend, and we're golfing while we're there. And he set an itinerary, set up the teams, sponsored did all these things. And he's just incredible. He's a great friend. That's what I was trying to get to. That was the long version of me trying to help you understand, to be a great friend, or make great friends, and then be an even better one. In verse 8, 12, 16, and 23, spend time with God, and you will gain wisdom and understanding. This will keep you light, free, and provide an unfair advantage. I talk about an unfair advantage quite a bit. And unfair advantages are things that it's almost like if somebody tried to compete with you, they couldn't. And just think about this. If you spend time with God, like, you get an unfair advantage. You get an unfair advantage because what he does is he imparts, when you spend time with him, he imparts wisdom, and that wisdom is the right use of knowledge. Then he brings knowledge. From that knowledge, then he'll bring understanding. Then he'll bring insight. He'll bring discretion. Then he'll bring discernment. Then he'll bring discipline. And then he'll bring strength. And that strength will lead you to spend more time with the place where you got it in the first place. And it'll give you an unfair advantage in every single thing that you do in your life. Why? Because God's will and God's power and God's wisdom transcends all things. It's wild in this realm. I mean, it's like he makes your enemies okay with you. He makes people who are your adversaries okay with you. And so it just gives you an unfair advantage. And that's in verse 8, 12, 16, and 23 of Proverbs 19. In Proverbs 19, verse 10, apple seeds cannot produce oranges. And this is where I've gotten to challenges before, and we used to talk about this in the professional beauty industry. It's like, honestly, like whatever type of seed that you plant, you will get that type of crop. And the only person who can plant seeds in your life is you. And some people are like, no, other people, circumstances plant seeds. No, it's our reaction to those things that happen in our life that plant the seed. You have the power. The only person that can plant a seed in your life is you. And once we realize that, then we take, responsibility for it. But also we go back to Uncle Sam and we say, like, it's not that circumstances are going to be all good when you don't lose it, kid, that light inside of you of what he was saying. But what he was saying is, if you don't lose the light, you'll prepare yourself for the challenges that come because you'll look at them different and you'll invite them and then you'll celebrate them and you'll fall in love with them and then more magic will happen. And where other people will say, oh my gosh, I saw your challenges, you'll say, it was a lesson to be learned. And so on to verse 13 through 14, 18, and 26. Watch this. This one hit me hard. Is your marriage and your family are the most important. If you make sure and shore up your marriage and your family, like your marriage and your family, your marriage and your kids, the relationship you have with your kids, the relationship you have in your marriage, if you shore those things up and those things are rooted and grounded in love and in peace and in laughter and in joy and freedom, what happens is everything else that's built on it is stable. And so it doesn't mean that it'll be perfect. It just means, I tell you, like, spend as much time loving on your wife, spend as much time loving on your kids as you possibly can. In verse 15 and 24, laziness doesn't end well. I didn't like this one because then it calls me and what I looked at it as like laziness. Sometimes I have a challenge, and I've had this challenge before, and some people will have this, and maybe you relate to it, is there's times where I get going so fast that I can't sit down and relax. I can't sit down and read a book for long enough because I constantly have to be moving. That there is just busyness. That's not, you sitting down and reading a book after a hard week of work. That's not laziness. But laziness is just not doing right work. And right work is diligence. And diligence comes from God because he'll show you what work will be right. And most of the time, it'll start with your marriage. It'll start with your family, and then it'll move on from those places. And then we'll continue to do the right thing, and the right thing will happen because you're doing it for the right reasons. In verse 17, generosity keeps you light and free. When you're generous with your time, when you're generous with people, and some people are like, protect it. There are times where you have to be conscious of the time that you give to people, but also too, guys, like honestly, like I had this example with this little kid, and I was teaching 4-year-old Sunday school, and the little kid comes up and he's crying. He's like, hey, Jimmy, stole my car. And I was like, okay. So I go over to Jimmy, take the car back, and then, kid comes back crying, same kid. Hey, Jimmy took my car again. Now I'm mad. But it's 4-year-old Sunday school. Like, what am I going to do? And so I said, Jimmy, get over here, give me the truck, get the truck back and give it to the kid. Kid comes back a third time. I said, look, and he's bawling now. I said, look, the next time Jimmy goes to take the truck, and I saw other teachers listening because I was a little bit frustrated, and they were waiting for the ball to drop. And I paused for a second, and I just said, the next time that he goes to grab your truck, like steal the truck, give it to him. Because he can't steal anything that you freely give to him. And so sometimes we get so wrapped up in, oh, this is mine, you can't take it. And when we are generous with people, it diffuses situations. And so generosity will always keep you free and light. And God wants us to walk free and light, full of laughter, full of joy, because honestly, he's in control. And in verse 19, wisdom will keep you cool. Wisdom will keep you cool. Foolishness will have you running hot. See, wisdom is the right use of knowledge, and the beginning of all wisdom comes from the fear of God, or beginning of it is from the fear of God, which is the respect of God. And that means that we just spend time with him. So if we spend time with God, then we'll have wisdom, which is the right use of knowledge, and that'll keep us cool. because we'll have the right use of knowledge. We'll be able, that starts it all off, and that wisdom will bring knowledge. It'll bring understanding, insight, discretion, discernment, discipline, and strength. When you have those things, you have the tendency to keep cool. The absence of wisdom, which means that you're not spending any time with God, is foolishness. And foolishness will have you running hot. And just think about it. Anytime you're running hot, and if you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're running hot, most of the time, it's because of a lack of wisdom in that scenario. It's a harsh truth. In verse 20 through 20, 25, 27, listen to advice, accept discipline, and you will be counted among the wise. Listen, accept, and you will be, it doesn't talk about doing anything, but listen to advice from godly people, from wise people, and accept the discipline that comes with it. And you will be counted among the wise. In verse 21, God is in control. Rest easy, have a good time, walk light, free, and full of joy. Never lose it, kid. Never lose it, kid. Have so much fun. Like, remember the Garbage Pail Kids? Remember when you were a kid and like, honestly, like I remember thinking, I'm opening this up now and I'm just looking at it. Because remember what it would have meant when you were a kid. And I remember, I think it was fourth grade. I remember when I got Smelly Kelly, like this Garbage Pail Kid. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, life would change. Nasty Nick, that's the number one card, the Garbage Pail Kid. If I could get that, everything would be cool. Imagine now, I mean, they've been sitting on the shelf. I didn't even know that they were in there. But they bring me joy now as I look back at them, and it's not because the value as far as money-wise, it's because they just brought joy. God's in control, rest easy, have a good time, walk light, free, and full of joy. In verse 29, as we finish up, is just spend time with God and accept his joy and freedom. As for the other stuff, you don't want any of that smoke. The other stuff is just the absence of it. The other stuff is not to spend time with God. My buddy James Dixon told me a story yesterday, and he said, this one's for you. He said, if you took a domesticated pig and you took that pig and you let him free, he said within 30 days, that pig would already start to change. It would start to grow hair. The snout would elongate, and it would start to become a feral, wild pig. Like it would physically change just after 30 days, and it wouldn't come back the same pig that you that you raised and that was domesticated with you. And when he was talking about this, he was saying it and he related it to spending time with God. And I've challenged each one of you, and what I want to challenge you today is to be able to spend like 31 days, take the 31-day challenge. We got the book Inchstones, The Vibe Within, and it's a 3-month journal. But take 31 days, read the corresponding proverb for the corresponding day. And what you'll find is that wisdom will start to impart in all areas of your life, personally, professionally, spiritually, and financially. Just try it. In the journal, what it asks you a couple simple questions. What verse hit your heart? What did it make you think about? What action can you add to it today? Take you about 15 minutes to be able to do it. But what I would do, whether you do it through our book or you do it just on your own, I would suggest trying it. Because if you will just spend time with God and accept his joy and freedom, you'll start to walk light. You'll laugh a lot. You'll be full of a lot more joy. And as for the rest of that stuff, like I said, you just don't want any of that smoke. It's just not a good look. Uncle Sam, all these years later, I wish that I would have listened and accepted and applied your wisdom every single day. Never lose it, kid. That's what you said to me. That was an invitation to walk free, light, and full of joy. This didn't mean the challenges would not appear. It just would prepare me to look at them different because God is in control. This will allow that light of being a kid to guide you through this blessing called life, laughing and enjoying every single moment. So I want to thank you, Uncle Sam, because those few words that you said to me through your gruff voice and your kind of, your own sense of humor have inspired me for the better part of 40 years. Now, I haven't applied it every single day, but I promise you, as I move forward, I will honor you in it. I will laugh. I will not take myself too seriously. And I'll realize that God is in control. And you have no idea how much of an impact, Uncle Sam, you made on my life that day and that you have made throughout time. You're an incredible man. Stephanie is lucky to have you as a dad. Your brothers and sisters are lucky to have you as a brother. And I'm lucky to have you as an uncle. And every single person around you is lucky to be able to be in your presence, Uncle Sam. I absolutely love you. And I want to charge you back that way. Never lose it. Never lose it, Uncle. That light inside of you. So I invite every one of you to walk free, walk light, full of joy, full of laughter. Have a good time today. Reside in the future, or reside in the present, because God is in control. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. And Jimmy Barbour, I want to let you know I went over a little bit of time today. You told me to keep it at 20 minutes, but there was a couple more things that I needed to talk about. So I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. My name is Kelly Cardenas, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we